Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Good. So the student driving, this is mildly terrifying for me.
I'm almost home.
I hope you get home safely.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be like part of the Zoom call where it's like students so, desirous of education drives car into snowbank. I don't want to wind up on that TikTok video, please. Thank you.
I'm just listening.
Okay, great, fantastic. All right, so as your professor said, I am one of the librarians here at Mercer County Community College, and today we're going to go over where you guys can get some resources for your papers / speeches that you're going to give. So you guys have an informative speech, you have a pet peeve speech, and I think you've got a third one as well. I guess if I looked at the assignment sheet, that would probably be helpful.
Special occasion.
Special occasion?
Yes.
Okay, great. So yeah, so you have 3 different speeches to give. I'm going to assume that it's like last year where you're also going to have to turn in essentially like the text of your speech along with the sources that you guys use to help you write and work on the speech. So that's where kind of my part comes in, because when you're doing this speech, if you give any type of data point or fact or figure, whatever it may be, you're going to want to be able to back up that source. I'm sure your professor has talked to you about using sort of expert testimony in your speeches when you're trying to either inform people or convince them of an argument. It really helps to kind of bolster your case. So that's what we're going to go over today. If you guys have any questions or concerns, just let me know. I'm going to share my screen. When I share my screen, I can't really see the chat. So if someone says something in the chat, just please let me know. And then finally, my daughter is currently watching a movie. She may show up 6 or 7 times or 0 times. So if she is, just say hi to her and she'll be very happy. Okay, great, fantastic. So let's do the share the screen here and we'll get started. Oh, I need to be the host or co-presenter or whatever.
Okay, you're all set.
Great, fantastic. Share screen, there we go, share screen. All right, let's see. Okay, can everyone see that email with your pet peeve speech and stuff?
Yes.
Yes, okay, great, fantastic. So these are the assignments that you guys are working on. So you can see that your first one is your pet peeve speech, and then the informative, and then the special occasion speech. So I will just show you a couple of sources. You can see here that you are required for each of these speeches to have different resources. So for example, for your pet peeve speech, you need 1 credible website and 1 periodical. And we'll talk about that. You can see for your informative / persuasive speech, in addition to the periodical, you will need 3 scholarly journals. Okay, and we'll talk about what those mean in a minute. The databases I'm going to show you guys, you'll be able to find all of this stuff by using just one database if you choose. And I will also show you the individual databases as well. So it's up to you what you guys want to select. They all work the same way. It's all keywords, Boolean operators, and we'll talk about that now. So right, you guys are working on different speeches and you're going to have some keyword terms. This is what you actually wind up typing into the database to get your search results. So for example, if you want to do a pet peeve speech on littering or chewing gum loudly, something like that, snoring, whatever it may be, that's actually what you're going to type into the database. That is a keyword. Your keyword too can be also things that aren't necessarily specific. Say you're looking for educational statistics, words like statistics, laws, things like that that are more broad. They can be your keyword terms as well. Okay, so that's what you're actually going to type in. Oh. Yes, I believe it's being recorded. If you want to, at the end, I'll send your professor an email. I have done sort of pre-recorded voiceovers of myself using the databases where you guys can go and watch them on YouTube, and you'll see me clicking in the databases, telling you what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, that sort of a thing. It probably won't be specific for this class, but the gist is the same. So if you watch that one, you'll be able to do it for pretty much any class, okay? So what we'll do is we'll type in the keywords into our databases and we'll get search results. Now, your professor mentions that there's two types of results that we can get, okay? There's what's known as popular or general interest. She calls those a periodical, okay? So that would be a newspaper or magazine, something like that, the New York Times, the Atlantic Monthly. All of those would be considered a popular source. And then for your other source, these are scholarly or peer-reviewed sources. These are written by experts, people with, say, PhDs in a particular field, physics, history, sociology, whatever it may be. You can see that your professor is requiring it for your second speech. Chances are, if you're trying to persuade someone, you want the best evidence possible, and the peer-reviewed stuff is going to give that to you because it is something an expert has both written and looked at before it was published. So scholarly sources are the way to go for that. In the databases, you will be able to find both types. It's just a matter of simply clicking on what type of source you're interested in. Finally, your professor mentions books as well. She says sources can be from books, periodicals, etc. Books are generally considered scholarly, okay? So if you find a book, we have electronic books that you can use. There's time, I'll do my best to point it out. But again, those would be generally considered scholarly, okay? And then finally, you are going to create a bibliography, or in the MLA format, it's known as a works cited page or entry. So this is where you're going to list all of the sources that you guys have used to do your speech/paper. I will show you how you can get those MLA citations for a periodical or a scholarly source, whatever it may be. It's really easy to do, okay? All right, so any questions before I start? There's one in the chat. Yes, okay, all right. All right, so any questions before I start going into the databases? All right, great. So let's head to the databases. The first thing we want to do is head to the main Mercer website, www.mccc.edu. That will take us to the Mercer County Community College homepage. From there, we want to scroll down, and under the section that says current/returning students, we want to use the link for library services, and that'll take us to the library homepage. Here you will see the library's homepage. Right in the middle is our first database. It's called MERSearch, and with it you can search almost everything the library has. So if you want a popular source, if you want a scholarly source, or if you want an electronic book, you can use MERSearch to find that, and it's great. If you guys want, you can just use this one and you'll be able to find everything you need. The only issue is because you're searching so much stuff, you're going to get lots of search results. So you'll have to be fairly specific with what you are looking for in order to find it. If you find MERSearch overwhelming, that's fine. Over here on the left, we have the databases by subject link, and we can use that to go and click in individual databases. And I'll show you guys how to use a few of those databases as well. So we'll start with MERSearch. If someone wants, can they give me either their pet peeve topic or their informative topic? And we'll use that as an example. Anybody? Nobody. Okay, great.
Oh, Sarah.
What, did you have something?
Yeah, leaving empty toilet paper roll, the thing on there, and just putting like a new one on top without taking the old one off.
Okay, that's
Or
really
just-
specific. Okay.
Or not even putting one on at all.
Okay, okay. Let's see. I'm going to type in refilling toilet paper roll. We'll do that and see what comes up. Now, again, these databases don't necessarily work like Google, okay? If I were to put that into Google, I would get lots and lots of search results. But these databases, as you can see, they're more geared towards scholarly sources. So if you look at that first result there, the multi-agent approach using low RAM WAN devices and airport case study. I have no idea what the heck that's about, but you can see it's really specific. So in here, you may have to kind of figure out the keyword terms that are going to work best to get you your search results. So sometimes it's not like Google where you click on the first one and think, oh, it's great. You have to kind of look around a little bit. Here you can see one here, refilling the toilet paper roll, okay? And you can scroll through and take a look, and hopefully there's something. What you may want to do is, if you find an article that looks interesting, okay? When you click on one, it's going to give you lots of information about it. So it'll tell you the keyword terms, the source it came from, who wrote it, things like that. So if we scroll through, I don't see anything else that looks great. So let's go and take a look at this one here and see what it says. Now, if you're looking here, how do you know what type of source you have? See how it says news results and it comes from University Wire? That's kind of indicating to you that it is a periodical or popular interest source. So let's take a closer look at it. Simply click on the title. Here you're being asked to log into the database. So you log into the database the same way you log into the My Mercer portal. Your username is your first name dot last name, and then your password is your birth date. So go ahead and log in. And now it's going to take you to the actual article. Sometimes it takes you to a different database. That's why Mersearch is great, because you don't have to know the specific database that you're in, that you need to go and find your source. Okay. All right. So here's our article. You can see here we have the title, we have the source it came from, and we have the abstract. Okay. The abstract is a. My daughter's watching a 101 Dalmatians, so she's having fun. Yeah, good one, Cameron. So the abstract tells you very briefly what your article is about. So you want to use the abstract to figure out if this article is on your topic or not. And if it is, great. And if it's not, you can skip it. Okay. Now, if you look at this, you see this one has no author and it comes from University Wire. If you look closely here under the full text section, so here's your actual article. Okay. If you look closely, you can see that this comes from something called the Rocket from Slippery Rock University. So University Wire is an electronic database service that basically culls together college student newspapers from across the country and kind of makes them searchable. So these are students not too different from yourself, except here they're at Slippery Rock University as opposed to Mercer. Okay. You can see it's written by Janelle Wilson. She's the editor-in-chief. There's the date. Okay. So there's all the relevant information there. And if you look, you can see your article here. And it's talking about October is National Hate Your Roommate Month. So there we go. Now, if you are interested in one particular topic about the toilet paper, what you can do is this. Hold down Control, hit F, and type in toilet paper. Ah, there it is. It has found the phrase. There it is, toilet paper. Okay. So here is an article from people not too different from you talking about students, their roommates not refilling the toilet paper roll. So this would be an acceptable source because it is considered a popular source. So this would be good for your pet peeve speech. Now, if you want to use it, great. You have the ability to hang on to it in a couple of ways. First, you can download the PDF, so you can save the PDF. You also have the ability to email the document to yourself, send it to Mercer, Yahoo, Gmail. So however you want to hang on to it, you can. And then finally, you want to do the MLA formatted citation for the source. There's a little button here that says Cite. Click on it, and it will generate the citation for you. You'll notice it defaults to the APA format. So you want to click the drop-down menu and use the MLA 8th edition. So if the database asks which format you would like your citation in, you would like the MLA 8th edition. And then we'll go ahead and switch it for you. Now, for what it's worth, this citation is correct, okay? However, if I were doing it, I would want to include the fact that it comes from Janelle Wilson and this particular student newspaper. This is a fine citation, but for me, I would want to include the actual author and the paper it came in, since we kind of know that. But anyway, it's there. You can go ahead, highlight, copy it into your works cited page, and there's your citation. All right. So that's kind of the basics of doing a search. As you can see, though, we didn't really get great search results. So let's try this, okay? So I'm going to say toilet paper. I'm going to type in toilet paper, and empty, and let's see. Let's type in refill. I am using your phrase of refilling the toilet paper roll and kind of breaking it up, because what I'm trying to tell the database now is I want articles that are about toilet paper, that have the keyword empty, that have the keyword refill in them, all of these sort of keyword terms. And I'm hoping that when I do this, I will be able to find something beyond just that phrase, okay? So now, if I do this here, you'll notice I get more search results, okay? I now have 962. And now I can scroll through and take a look, okay? So we can,
Does search have to have the word "and" in between them, or if you just put toilet paper empty refill, would that be sufficient as well?
so I was going to explain that in a second. What "and" does for you is this. "And" is actually a Boolean operator. "And" is going to tell the database that I want articles about subject 1 and subject 2 in the same article, okay? So if you want, you don't necessarily have to put it in. I put it in to make sure that you guys can see it visually. When you search Google, Google is actually putting an invisible "and" in there. So if you type in college students, it's actually looking for college and students. Here in the database, I pretty much always put it in there, because then I know that the database is doing exactly what I want and not looking for phrases, okay? So that's why I include the "and." So for example, right, we can keep saying and. So I'm seeing stuff on, like, you know, supermarket toilet paper, things like that, okay? So if you want, you can keep typing "and," that would work as well. So let's see, and we'll try "and roommate," and roommate. Oops, spelled it wrong, there we go. Okay, so there, now we can see we're down to 39 search results. So again, the more keyword terms you put in, the fewer search results you get. So what do we have? Let's just type "roommate," see if that comes up. Okay. All right. Wonderful. Here we have 1,000 search results because I got rid of refill. Refill seems to not be working for us. And as you can see too, this is kind of a trial and error thing. You have to spend a couple of minutes figuring out what keyword terms are going to work best for you. All right, so let's pretend this is good, right? Let's pretend these 1,000 search results are okay. All right, how do we select what type of source we're getting? Okay, so you can see on the left here, we have actually the option for scholarly peer-reviewed. You can also see that we have the options for newspapers and magazines. So you can go ahead and select the type of search results you want returned to you. So you can just pick magazine, and it'll just give you the magazines. And you can see I've got 199. And again, same thing, you can click on newspaper, and it'll add in the newspaper search results. Or you can unselect newspaper, and it will get rid of them. Same thing, if you just click on peer-reviewed, it will just show you the peer-reviewed search results.
Does
Okay.
it have, I'm sorry, does it have like websites on there too, or you would just search the website separately?
So if you wanted web stuff, you would go out onto the web, and I'll show you how to do, not how to do credible sites, but how to kind of maybe think about credible sites. Okay.
More
There-
importantly, I was looking for the button to click the MLA citation.
Yeah. Usually there's a little button somewhere that says cite. Actually, if you look at, see the article here? See these little icons up top here? There's actually a little cite button here that says cite this item. And if you click on it, it generates the citation. So MLA, there you go.
Google needs that.
Yep, citation error. Well, son of a gun. Pretty much every single article that you guys find in the database, you can have the citation generated for you. In a minute, when we talk about web stuff, I will show you a website where you guys can go and you can just plug in the information and it will give you a MLA formatted citation for you. I'm sure you guys have used EasyBib, Son of Citation Machine, things like that. This is better. It takes maybe 5 seconds longer, but it does an infinitely better job because it's not stupid. Son of Citation Machine, stuff like that, it doesn't always work great. So I'll show you that in a second. All right. Let's see. I pay the what the hell do you? Okay. Let's use this one. Let's see if this one's any better. Again, we're clicking on it. Here, it's saying that this article is located in a different database called Academic Search Premier. So if we go ahead and click on that link there, it's going to go and take us to that. Click on this full text online. It'll go and take us to the article. And again, it's going to look exactly the same as our other database. Okay. There's the title. There's the author. There's the magazine it came from. Okay. And we can scroll through and read our article. And again, if you want, it may be blocking it. Let me go over here. See on the right-hand side here, you have your email. So you can email. You can click on cite, and it'll generate the citation for you. I gotta move you guys. Keep moving you guys around here. In the middle of my page here, you'll see the MLA citation. Just scroll down, and you'll find it. Okay. So again, all these databases are going to work the same way, whether you want to use the MERSearch database, or I'll show you another database in a second. It doesn't matter. It all works the exact same way. Okay. Yours is a little tricky because it's kind of a phrase, but I kind of broke it up, and that seemed to get me at least some different search results. Okay. All right. Any questions or concerns about what I've shown you so far? No? Okay, great, fantastic. So if we wanted to, let's say like this was a perfect search and we got, every single excellent, tons of excellent articles on your pet peeve topic here. Great. We can just go ahead and copy and paste this search into another database, and we would get more and hopefully different search results. Okay. So let's go and take a look at some of the other databases real quick. All right, let's see. So as I said, there's MERSearch right there. If you want, you don't have to use MERSearch. You can look on the left where it says quick links, and we can do the databases by subject. So I'll point a couple out, and I'll just show you one. You saw that one of the databases that we used was something called Academic Search Premier. That's actually located here under the general section. So there's Academic Search Premier. General databases have a little bit of everything in terms of topics, as well as in terms of popular and peer-reviewed sources. So pretty much regardless of the topic you're interested in, the general databases will have something for you. So Academic Search Premier is good. ProQuest Central is very good as well. So it's up to you guys. If you want some periodical sources, newspapers, magazines, etc. If you go under the news section, we have the New York Times, including today's newspaper. We also have the historical New York Times, which goes all the way back to like the 1850s, 60s, something like that. We have the Wall Street Journal as well. And under ProQuest newspapers, you can find the New York Times, you can find the Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, and many other sort of major newspapers from throughout the United States. So if you want a newspaper article, the pet peeve speech, the newspaper source, newspapers is good for you. Okay. And then finally, there's lots of other databases depending on what you're interested in. So if you want to do some kind of informative business speech, okay, you have lots of business databases, okay? You have your law databases as well. So again, it's up to you. You guys get to pick, all right? Can someone give me another either informative speech or pet peeve speech, and we'll see if we can find something? Yeah, go ahead.
But really just someone not paying attention or kind of.
Sorry, I heard religious. What was the second bit?
Someone just not paying attention to you while you're talking, just them being on their phones.
Someone who's not paying attention while you're talking.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
on their phones and stuff.
College students. What about them?
That's all.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. So people who are distracted or something like that while you're speaking. Okay. Sure. Here, we will try.
He also said they're on their phone.
They're on their phone. Okay. Sure. All right. Hang on 1 second. Oh, is she okay, Lid? All right. My daughter's bugging the heck out of my wife. All right. So people who are on their phone as well. So people are just phone distractions and stuff. Okay, let's do this. You know what? Maybe we'll see if we can find a scholarly article on it. Let's use the general section. Let's go into ProQuest Central. Okay. And when we use these individual databases now, you're going to see a new checkbox that you didn't see before with MERS search. That is this one here called full text. You want to click full text because that's going to give you the complete article. Okay. So if it asks, you always want full text. Excuse me. You'll see here as well that there's a peer-reviewed button. So if you want, you can click that and you will only get scholarly peer-reviewed search results. Okay. So I'm going to leave it unchecked. We'll see what we find. So let's type in cell phone and distraction and listening. Let's do that, see what we get. And again, just like in our databases, in our MERS search, we're going to get our search results. You see the titles, all that kind of stuff. Okay. You'll see too here that we get a lot of stuff about driving. Okay. So what we may want to do is figure out how to get rid of driving, right? We can do this in one of two ways. We can and stuff, you know, type in and, let's say classroom and public speaking, whatever it may be, okay? And hopefully that will get rid of the driving. The other option we can try is try the not Boolean operator. Not is going to say the database, get rid of stuff about driving, get rid of stuff about air pollution, get rid of stuff about Eagles and football, okay? I want Eagles the bird, not Eagles the football team. So we can try that. The band. Eagles the band, nice, yes. So I'm gonna type in not driving and see what comes up. And hopefully that will get rid of some, okay? Great, and it did. So now we're down to 6,000. So it got rid of half the search results, okay? So again, we can scroll through and look, all right? If we wanted to, we can go ahead and select just peer reviewed. See where it says source types? We can go ahead and click on those, click on more. And it'll say, okay, you know, here we can click newspapers, we can click magazines, et cetera, et cetera. The one suggestion I will make is this. Do not use dissertations or theses. They are fine and interesting, but they're usually going to be too long. They haven't been peer reviewed. They're going to be at least probably 75 pages, if not more. So they can be helpful for mining sources, but not necessarily for assignments like this. So I would exclude these, okay? So if you just want scholarly peer reviewed, click the button and it will show you scholarly peer reviewed sources, okay? All right. So here you can see you've got 500 search results. You can scroll through and take a look, okay? And let's see if there's anything here. Oh, this is a good one. Here, cell phones, rule setting, rule breaking, and relationships in classroom. So this one looks interesting. I don't know if it's on your topic, but we'll take a look at it. All right, and again, same thing as the newspaper one. Title, author, source, okay? Again, the abstract, all right, that talks about what our article is about. You're interested in the distraction bit of it. So what I'm gonna do is, just like last time, hold down Control, hit F, and I'm going to type in distraction, okay? So I'm going to see where the word distraction or distracting, whatever it may be, appears in the text, okay? And see if this is gonna help me. If you look up top here, hopefully you can see this on your screen. It may be small, but there it's found this distract bit twice in our article. See, it says distractions, okay? So that's one way we can do this. And again, we can go back to our search results and see if there's any more. Oh, great, fantastic. Okay, when I'm done here, I'll check out your house. Examine the, where's the prevalence and perception of cell phone use here while walking in high school students, okay? Back when we were allowed to go into libraries and stuff, if you've ever been into the Mercer Library, you saw where the reference desk was. Students, literally at least once a day, would go head down on the cell phone and walk right behind my chair in the reference desk, look up confused as to why they had not exited the library and couldn't figure out how they wound up in the reference area behind me. And the answer was because you were looking at your cell phone. So they had to turn around and walk embarrassed in front of me, on the cell phone, obviously, past me. So here, again, cell phones. Again, I can type in distraction. Okay. Ah, look, distracted walking. Oh, whoever knew you could be distracted while walking? Can high school students walk and chew gum? Maybe. All right. Again, download the article email site. Okay. What's nice about these scholarly peer-reviewed sources is a couple things. One, they give you lots of good in-depth information. Two, when you go and you look at them, so here, I'll open up one so you guys can actually see what it looks like. So here is your peer-reviewed article. You will notice that if you zoom in a little bit, you're going to see that they give you lots of facts and figures, okay, that tell you here, you know, conclusions, keywords, things like that. They'll give you their sources as well, telling you what the article is about. Telling you where they got their information from, okay? Why isn't this one missing stuff? It's only 2 pages. Okay. Bad example. Let's try another one. Use of cell phones and potential human health impacts. All right, let's click that one and see. Maybe that one will be better. Okay, we'll open up this PDF here just so you guys can see. That's better. There we go. Okay. So if you look here, you can see that you've got your keywords, your abstract. And again, in here, see where it says Sage and Carpenter, Uden and Ferduis, okay? Singh and Kapoor. If we go and we scroll to the end of the article here, it's going to give us a list of our references telling us what they used. There it is. Okay. So here are all the sources that they use. So if we really like Sage and Kapoor, we just have to scroll down to the S in Sage. Sage, where are you? Sage, Carpenter. Oh, okay. Well, there's Sage and Carpenter. But there, it tells you here, public health implications of wireless technology, pathophysiology. So it actually gives you the journal article that they used. So if you like it, you go and you can find it. And there's the Uden and Ferris one too. Okay. Finally, the database can help you out a bit too. When you do your search, you find an article. You look on the right here, see all these things here. These are some additional articles that are on similar topics. So if you want, you can go, you can click on that, and you will go to that article. So if you are able to find one good article, you'll be able to find multiple articles.
I have
Okay.
a question.
Yeah.
So like that one that you just did, right? If we wanted to cite it, would we cite the article we read, or like, because
So-
there's a ton of references in there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, so you are in here, okay, right? Here, you want to talk about the increase in cell phone usage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This piece of information right here, you
Mhm.
cite where you found it. So if you found it in this article by Kim, okay?
Yeah.
So this article by Kim, you cite where you found it.
Okay.
What you can do is, if you have a direct quote, okay, so in your Kim article, in Article 1, right, there's a direct quote from Article 2, okay? What you would say is, in parentheses, just like this, you would say, give that quote, okay, from this other author, okay, from not Kim, the not Kim author. You would say, in parentheses, QTD, which is short for quoted in, Kim. Okay. So MLA quoted in. If you Google that, right, here's Columbia. This is the one I always go to. Okay. See this here? Examples of an in-text citation, right? Okay. This bit here. See where it says QTD in? So if you found an article, and in that article is a quote by someone else or a statistic by someone else, you're still saying, I found it in this source. So therefore it's quoted in this source. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. If it doesn't, just email me and let me know. And I'll send you the link to this page because this is like really like the best, most simplest one. It's a
Okay.
confusing concept. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. You can, of course, if you like, go and try to find that other source, book, article, whatever it may be, and quote it directly. That's fine. But this is, you found it, just use the one you found it in. Okay. All right. Okay. Any other questions about using the databases? Things like that? No? All right. Great. Fantastic. Let's talk about the internet. All right. How do you avoid the QAnon conspiracy sites? I think is the general consensus. Yes? Okay. So it's hard because a lot of the times when you look at a website, you don't know if it's good or not because you don't know the author, you don't know the organization that's publishing it, you don't know every single newspaper in the world or reputable news source. It's impossible. So what you need really is kind of a set of guidelines to figure out whether or not something is trustworthy. Okay. Oh, look, you can see my search history. This is great. So Cal State Chico has a really good PDF of something called the crap test. I'm pointing to Chico because it's got a nice PDF here. But the crap test is used by pretty much any library throughout the world. They will tell you to use the crap test. Okay. We also need an example site for our crap test. All jobs to foreign. I think that should do it. BLS. No. What's the, oh God. It's such a good example and I always forget it. Not STEM. All right. Center for CIS. That should do it. That's Cato. I don't want Cato. Yeah, this should be it. Yes. Great. Oh, that's the actual PDF. I should have had this pulled up. Yes, found it. Wonderful. Okay, crap test. So, crap test. Crap is an acronym. All right. So, what does it stand for? Let me zoom in a little more so you guys can see. All right. So, C, currency. How new is the article? Okay, or the website, whatever it is. So, not only was this apply to when it was published, but when was it updated? The sources that the author is citing, okay, how new are they? Is his most recent thing from 1995 or is it from 2019? Okay, so again, currency, how new is the info? We'll take a look at this one as my example. It's getting a little long in the tooth now, but it's still a good example. All right, so here, this article is saying that all employment growth since 2000 went to immigrants, okay? So if you look, that this article was published in June of 2014. So it's 7 years old now, so for this one, probably not great to use. But anyway, right, we could say, just for now, it's good, it's fine. If we went, we could look at his sources. I'm sure he lists them in here. You could see here, he lists sources, the data that he gives. So again, his sources, when this was published, was up to date, okay? So this passes the currency test. Great. The relevance. How did you guys hear that? No, okay, great. So it's just me. Wonderful. So relevance. How related to your topic is it? So if you were doing a paper on immigration, the answer is yeah. Again, same thing too. Is all the sources that they cite, anything that's in there, is it related to what you are talking about? Is it related to even what they're talking about? Or have they just pulled stuff from wherever? Okay, so great. All of this stuff, I've read through it. Yeah, it's all relevant and good. So it passes the relevancy test. The authority. Who is the person who wrote this information? Where does it come from? What is the URL? Does it end in .com, .edu, et cetera, right? Can we basically trust this organization or this person? Again, if it's some dude on the internet, if it's some guy on Reddit, right? Should we trust some guy on Reddit? He says he has a PhD from Harvard, but like, can I see it? Can he point to something that he's actually published himself? And if I send him an email, will he reply? Okay. Well, if we look here, this Stephen A. Camarota guy, if we click on his name, okay, we can see him. There he is. He's the director of research at the Center for Immigration Studies. We can see that he has a master's degree in political science and he has a PhD in public policy analysis. He is an authority. He would be trustworthy on this. The same deal applies to any sources or data that he used. Well, he's saying it came from government data. Well, we can trust government data generally, okay? So again, it looks like he's a good source. The sources he used would be on topic, written by other people who are in the field. And again, if we look, it ends in .org, okay? Some .orgs are fine, some .orgs are bad. Again, it depends, okay? Accuracy. How reliable, how truthful is this information? So if we look, he's got lots of facts and figures in here, and he tells us where we can find them. So if you look at this first one here, right, where he talks about the population growth versus the employment growth. He says, here, you can go and you can check my data, okay? You can go and you can look at these specific tables, right? He tells you what table to look at. Oh, no, he doesn't. I wonder why. You see this number? See how it's 100%? Can anyone tell me something that is 100% in life? The sun rising, yes, that's pretty much it. So this number is already starting to be fishy. How can, for 14 years, every single job gain go to someone who was not born in the United States? Does that seem likely? I see one person shaking their head no. I hope everyone else is saying no too. There we go, they're all shaking no. Okay. In this time span, I have received and, gotten several jobs. So I think their number is less than 100% there. So these numbers start to seem very suspicious, especially because he is not telling us, right, which specific table he is using from the current population survey, okay? Public use files, there's hundreds of these files. Which one did you use? Okay, so starting to seem suspect now. This is the one that everybody kind of fails at. So this guy, I'm going to give him a D in accuracy because he's probably reporting the numbers in his own interpretation of them. So if the number says 50, he's saying I'm making it 100. Purpose. Why does this information exist? What is it trying to do? Well, think about what you guys are going to do, right? You're going to either give an informative or persuasive speech, and you're trying to convince or inform me that something is good or something is bad and it needs to change or it doesn't need to change, okay? So anyway, what is the purpose? What are they trying to do with this? Are there any biases that you can detect? Political, cultural, religious, personal, whatever it may be, okay? Essentially, why is this information on the internet? What's it going to be used for, okay? What is this person hoping to accomplish by putting this information out there? A lot of the times, it's fairly obvious. They want to sell you crap, okay? So whether it's the New York Times putting out a clickbaity article because they know they're going to get clicks and ads, or in this case, let's look at this a little further. See how it says Center for Immigration Studies? It seems fairly innocuous, right? If we look down here, what's their little tagline? Can you guys see? It says, low immigration, pro-immigrant. Okay? So if you think about that, it is, to use a good word, Orwellian. I don't want immigrants here, but when they're here, I'm for them. Well, you just told me you didn't want me here, so how can you be for me? It's got to be one or the other, right? It can't be both. So if we then go and look around this website further, or we look even on the right here, right, we can see that there's kind of a theme here saying that immigrants are generally bad. Okay, here, right, where's that other one? Biden freezes ICE, suspends 85% of criminal alien deportations. Can you believe that? Can you believe what Biden did? Almost all of these people are criminals. Why isn't he sending them back to where they came from? He must be up to something, right? So if we look at this, I bet you that 85% number are for like a dude who stole a pack of cigarettes from a 7-Eleven. As you know, nothing screams violent criminal like stealing Marlboros. Anyway, the point is, if we look around this site further, we're going to see that generally they have a bias, and that bias is immigrants are bad and we don't want them here, even though we say we are for them, okay? And we're going to, when we look at these numbers and stuff, fudge these numbers in a way so that it makes it seem as if 100% of them stole all our jobs. Like, if you said it was like, oh, 50%, like maybe someone sane could believe it. But like 100%, every single job for 14 years? Like, you know, maybe if I took some mushrooms, I'd believe it, but no. All right, anyway, the point is that when you look at something like this, everything looks fine on the surface. But if you scratch it just a little bit, especially when you get to here, the 100%, you're like, okay, this doesn't hold up. But when you do something like this, right? When you say all employment growth went to immigrants, right? All employment growth to immigrants, right? When it gets out into the bloodstream, okay? So there's our original one. Now look at it. Cato picked it up, okay? Here, the immigration, like all of these things have started to pick it up now, okay? Here, Rick Santorum, former senator from Pennsylvania, claimed it, okay? And obviously, they're going to fact check this and say it's not true. So all you then have to do is, right, add in the word women, which is what they did. And if I can find it, I wish I could find it here. Let's see. All jobs, immigrants. Oops, all jobs, foreign born women, Washington. Think of some examiner. That should do it. Yep, here it is. So all you have to do is just change a little bit. You don't have to change the data. You just, you know, change the date. Now it's 2007. 2007. Still 100%, but now it's women. Ah. Okay? And again, when you look at this, right, it's from the Washington Examiner. Again, we can scroll through this and take a look at this article. And again, we'll see, okay, let's look at these headlines. Let's look at this stuff, all right? Again, notice too, right? We see, can you recognize this guy? That's Obama, right? Is Obama directly responsible for giving all of these foreign-born immigrant women jobs? No, right? But we can pin it on him because he's different, right? He's the president we don't like. So someone like this, the Washington Examiner, which has, again, a bias, they can use pictures of Obama to get you to believe, not you necessarily, but you in general, people, to believe their side of the argument. We already don't like Obama, therefore he's responsible for this, okay? So when you look at websites, you have to have a really critical eye, and you can't necessarily just trust something on face value, okay? One of the things you can do to kind of help you is when you do a Google search, right? Let's just type in immigrants and job growth, okay? All right. So here we have lots of stuff, okay, from Forbes, from magazines, you know, newamericaneconomy.org, ACLU, okay? What we can do is if we go under the settings option, we click on advanced search. We can put in, under where it says site or domain, a website or domain that we can trust, okay? So here I have the New York Times, and now I will just search the New York Times. Excuse me, right? So there, now I have just search results from the New York Times, okay? Again, if I wanted to, I can change it to just sites that end in .edu. So I just type in .edu, okay? And so now I've got stuff from, here's Yale, here's Northwestern, okay? And I can scroll through from UPenn, okay, Brookings, which is a think tank. So again, when you go into the internet and you search, always remember that last one, right? what are they trying to do with this information? Are they trying to convince you of something? Are they trying to sell you something? Okay, what is their bias, if you can detect it? Okay. All right, so that's kind of the basics of it. Any questions, concerns, things like that? You okay, Cameron? Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
question.
Yeah.
So you said, what was the site or whatever, like if we were to use this article to cite it?
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, okay. I can do that for you. It's actually here. So if you go, again, back to the library website, see where it says citation guides? You can click on that. You want to do some work? Sure. Here, come here. Figured you'd be showing up out now because it's almost bath time. Woo!
Can I get on the mouse?
You want the mouse? Sure. Okay. You want to say hi to everybody? No. Hi. Say hi, students.
Hi, students.
Good job.
Too cute.
All right. She's going to work now. She's got lots of emails to answer. Okay. So we use the citation guides link. It'll take us here to our citation guides. There's the link to the MLA format from Purdue OWL. You guys can get there, I know. The one that I like to use is the NC State Citation Builder. Okay, so click on the NC State Citation Builder. And all you have to do with the Citation Builder is simply say what you want to cite and in what style you would like to cite it. So for example, let's say we're going to use this Yale link here. Oh, no, where'd that Yale link go? Yeah, so let's say we want to use this one, right? All we would do is go to that NC State site. Say, I want to cite a website in MLA 8th edition. And then you would just plug in your info. And once you plug in all your info there, click on submit, and it will spit out a citation that you can copy into your works cited page. And again, if you have, say, a journal article, scholarly journal article, you can do that. You can do a newspaper or a magazine, okay? You can see it also offers you print or digital. So if you have a URL, you would use the digital one. Yes, Cameron. What's on your shirt? You want to tell everyone what's on your shirt?
Kitty.
A kitty. Good job. Okay. Oh, there's Cameron. Do you see that?
Yeah.
What's that?
Jethro.
That's a kitty cat.
Not at your mouth.
Mouse away from the mouth. Okay. All right. So any questions, concerns about what I've shown you guys so far? No? All right. Fantastic. Let me show you my contact info here. This way, if you get stuck or lost or confused with anything, you can get in touch with me. Okay. So feel free to email. You can email me at the Mercer account there, and I'll get back to you. You can do the Twitter or the Instagram, though I haven't done much Instagramming or Twittering lately. There's also the Google Hangout option too. So if you guys want to do something like this, where we share screens so you guys can see what I'm doing or I can see what you're doing, we can do that through Google Hangouts. I don't have the full paid for version of Zoom, so Google Hangouts sometimes works better because we don't have the 40-minute time limit, okay? Sometimes Cameron will be there, sometimes she won't. Do you like working with the students? Yeah. Do you know where Daddy works? You don't know? Can you say library? Library. Okay, good.
In my house.
Yeah, I work in the house now, right? With Mommy and Cameron? Yeah.
I got your own bike too.
Yeah, we got bikes too, yes. Okay. All right. Do you want to ask the students if they have any questions for Daddy? Say, do you have any questions for Daddy, students? You don't know. Okay. All right. You want to get down?
I want to get the mouse.
You want to walk with the mouse? Okay, you can walk with the mouse. All right. There you go. Oh, you have your sandals on too. I didn't notice that. Okay. All right. So do you guys have any questions or concerns?
It's bath time now, okay?
All right, great. Well, fantastic. So as I said, hopefully you got the gist of it. Your professor did record this, so you can go back and watch it. You can watch the last two. You want to sit with me again? Sure. So you can watch the last 2 minutes and see Cameron just tearing it up. Come here. I'll also email your professor the link to the YouTube site, the YouTube site, where you can then go and you can rewatch these. Cameron is unfortunately not in them, so they're going to be less exciting. You want the mouse pad? I see. Yeah. Do you see what's on the mouse pad? What's that?
A boat.
A boat. Very good. Okay. All right. Well, I will stop sharing my screen. Does everyone have my contact info that wants it? Yes. Great. Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you guys for your time. And if you need anything, just let me know.
Thank you so much for giving us that great presentation. So,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody. Say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Can you walk?
Yeah, you can walk now.
No.
Well, I got to get her off my lap.
I love Jethro.
so
He's my favorite.
And the coolest.
straight
Little
to the
goatee.
camera. Okay, great. So yes, I did tape it for you, and I will put it in this week's folder for you so that you can review it if you need to. But again, the librarian is great. You can contact him and he will get back to you. The whole library team over there is great. They answer questions like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So make sure you make use of it. It's very helpful. They're very helpful. Okay, any questions about that at all? Okay, it's 7. So let's play a game. Okay? How many people did the listening evaluation? All right. Good listeners? You think you're great listeners?
I was a good-ish listener.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to see how good a listener you are. So I'm going to put everybody in a breakout room, and I'm going to bring you back one at a time. I'm going to leave one student here, and that student I'm going to give the information to. And then that student is going to give information to the next student I bring in the room. And we're going to keep doing that until we get to the last student. And we're going to see how well you listen. Okay? All right. Okay, Golan, come on in. You're going to be our first listener.
So what? I just leave the room and
The room, come back to the big room with me.
gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
So it's just listening.
Yes, you're just going to listen to what I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Okay, you can't write it down or anything.
I'm not writing anything down.
You're just going to listen very
Okay.
attentively. Right. Here we go. All right. Larry told Mary to meet him at 3 o'clock on Thursday at the corner of Greenwood and Chambers Streets so that they can meet Susan on Tuesday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon at Broad and 2nd so that we can go to the library to study for the test on Monday. You want me to tell you again?
Yes, please.
Larry told Mary
Okay.
to meet him at 3 o'clock on Thursday at the corner of Greenwood and Chambers Street so that they can meet Susan on Tuesday at 3 in the afternoon at Broad and Second so that we can go to the library to study for the test on Monday.
Okay.
You think you got it? Or you want me to tell you again?
Can I hear it one more time?
Okay, sure.
I think I got it though, but I just want to make sure.
All right. So Larry told Mary to meet him at 3 o'clock on Thursday at the corner of Greenwood and Chambers Streets so that they can meet Susan on Tuesday at 3 p.m. in the afternoon at Broad and Second so that we can go to the library to study for the exam on Monday.
Okay, I gotcha.
All right. Stay here and I'm going to go get another student.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so our next student is going to be Melissa.
Alrighty.
Hi, Jethro.
Hello.
Hey.
Okay, so I think I need to tell you the little story that we got. So it goes like this. Larry told Mary to meet at the corner of Greenwood and Chambers Street at 3 o'clock on Thursday so that they can they can meet Susan on Tuesday on Broad and Second Street and that they can go to the library on Monday to study for the test.
Do I only get to hear that one time?
I think I could tell you again probably.
Yeah,
So yes, right?
yeah, you can tell her one more time.
Okay. Larry told Mary.
You can't write it down though. No, no, no.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay. I'm sorry.
You type it. No, no, this is a listening. It's just listening. So let's test your listening skills.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so Larry told Mary to meet him at the corner of Greenwood and Chambers Street on Thursday at 3 o'clock so that on Tuesday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they can meet Susan at Broad and Second Street so that on Monday they can study for the test.
Okay.
That's as far as I remember.
Okay, so there was more, but that's all you got.
And I think I think I basically got it all, but I think there was something else, I think, but pretty sure I did it all.
All
Is
right.
it good? Am I?
Yep. I'm going to get the
I'm
next
gonna call you back.
Tamika, hit join and go in that room. Okay, you know what? Just stay right here. Tell Tamika now. Oh, she left. Okay.
She gone.
All right. I'll go get you somebody else.
With like my past classes and stuff like that, I don't know how applicable it is to. Oh,
Peru, we're ready for you. Okay. Peru's coming.
Is Golan staying?
She's coming. I told her to come. I hope she heard me.
I think so.
Here she comes.
okay.
Hey, Peru. Now put on your thinking ears.
Okay.
Can't write it down because it's just
No.
No, don't write it down. Because
No cheating.
we're testing our listening, okay?
Okay.
How well we can listen. We're going to see if what you wrote down on your listening evaluation sheet is true. All right, let's
Okay.
go. All right, Melissa.
Okay. Larry told Mary to meet him at the corner of
What are
Green.
you looking at?
What?
What are you looking at?
Nothing. I didn't. I put it away.
Okay. Just look at the camera.
Well, my camera's up. Okay. Larry told Mary to meet him at the corner of Chambers and Greenwood at 3 o'clock on Thursday, so they can meet Susan on Tuesday at 3 o'clock on the corner of South Broad and 2nd
No.
Street, so that they can study for the exam on Monday.
Okay, tell her again.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. Larry
Told Mary.
Larry
I heard that.
Mary to meet him
Told Mary.
on the corner of Chambers and Greenwood at 3 o'clock on Thursday, so that they can meet with Susan at 3 o'clock on Tuesday on the corner of Broad Street and 2nd Street, so that they can meet on Monday to talk about the exam.
So I don't understand. How am I getting a
Let's
7?
go. Come back to the room. Come back to the room, Tamika. Are you there? Okay, Anifer, let's go. Okay, we're back. All right, now Peru. Tell Anifer what Melissa told you that Golan told her that I told him.
Wow. No wonder you didn't grade the assignment.
Can you say that again, please?
No, I didn't start yet.
She's gonna add that
Okay,
down. Okay.
Larry told Mary that they're gonna meet at the corner of Chambers on Thursday at 3 o'clock to meet Susan on Tuesday.
Okay, so let me see if I get it. Mary
meet
to
Susan.
Mary.
Okay,
Okay,
to meet
so Melissa
Susan.
and Golan, don't help them at all. Just let them go at it, okay? Don't help them at all. All right, go ahead.
Okay, to meet Susan on Tuesday on Broad Street and 2nd to discuss the exam.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay, Jennifer S., let's go.
Oh, I'm not last.
Told Mary that they're gonna meet on
Okay, last.
Thursday.
Okay, let me see if I get it.
All right, now, Jennifer, you have to tell Jennifer S. what Peru told you, what Melissa told Peru, what Golan told Melissa, and what I told Golan.
Okay. She's there.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Can't write it down, Jennifer. Just listen. Just listen.
You saw the pen in my hand?
We all did it.
Okay. Okay, so on Tuesday, Larry to Mary going to meet Susan on Thursday on Thursday 3 o'clock to discuss about the same.
Wait, can you say that?
Okay. Da, 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 da. Josh, let's go.
About the exam.
Okay, that's it. Here comes Josh.
Did I say it right?
Okay, Josh. Jennifer S. is going to tell you what Anifer told her, what Peru told Anifer, what Melissa told Peru, Golan told, I told Golan. Golan told Melissa, I told Golan.
Ready? Ready for this? Okay.
Wait. Now, Josh, this is just your ears. So we don't want you to write anything down to try to remember. Everything is with your ears and your brain. Listening, ears and brain. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so Larry told Mary, or Larry and Mary are going to meet Susan on Tuesday at 3 o'clock to discuss the exam.
Okay. You got that? Okay, that's it. All right. Okay, James, you're up.
You said, yeah, you said something wrong.
Okay, now remember I told you you can't talk. You can't talk. After I tell you don't talk, you don't talk, you gonna mess up the whole exercise.
It's okay though. We didn't say anything bad though, or that will help anyone.
Okay. All right. All right. So James, Josh is going to tell you what Jennifer S. told him, what Anifer told Jennifer S., what Perul told Anifer, what Melissa told Peru, what Golan told Melissa, what I told Golan. So we don't want you to write down anything. We just want you to use your
pen and paper here.
skills to hear what he's saying so that you can repeat it now to the next person. Okay.
So, James, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'll turn up my volume too.
So, Jennifer S. told me that Larry and Mary, or Larry and Mary, they're going to meet together on Tuesday at 3 o'clock to discuss an exam.
Okay, Jennifer, we're ready for you.
Okay. Good luck.
This is mahogany. I'm just using my mom's.
I'm sorry. That's right, mahogany.
And can I talk to you at the end of class too?
At the end of class, yes. All right, let's go, Jennifer.
I'm coming.
Stay there, mahogany. Okay, we're back.
Want to just go?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Jennifer.
Yes.
We're going to just use our listening skills now. We don't want to write anything down. We just are testing how well do we listen? How well do we listen? So James is going to tell you what Josh told him, what Jennifer told Josh, what Anifer told Jennifer, what Perul told Anifer, what Melissa told Perul, what Galan told Melissa, and what I told Galan.
My heart is racing. I just want to say that. I don't know why. I feel so nervous.
It's all fun. It's all
But whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
Okay, James, let's go.
Larry and Mary are going to meet on Tuesday at 3 o'clock to take an exam.
Okay, you got that, Jennifer? All right, nobody say anything. We're going to bring the last person in. Okay, Mahogany, we're coming back now.
All right.
Is Mahogany here?
I told her to come back. She said, okay. I can end the breakout room. Still sitting in there. Okay. All right, Mahogany. Can you turn on your camera?
Yeah.
All right. So what we're doing is we can't see your face.
Hold on, I can't see either. Hold on, it's the way I'm sitting.
Okay, now we're looking at the ceiling. You have to bring it
All
down.
right, I got you in a minute.
All right. So what we're doing is we're only using our ears to listen. So Jennifer A is going to tell you what James told her, what Josh told James, what Jennifer told Josh, what Anifer told Jennifer S, what Parul told Anifer, what Melissa told Parul, and what Golan told Melissa, and what I told Golan. Okay, Jennifer, let's go.
All right, Mahogany. James told me that Larry and Mary are meeting on Tuesday at 3 o'clock to take an exam.
Okay. What did you hear, Tamika? I'm looking at your note. Mahogany, what did you hear?
She said James told her that Larry and Mary is going on a date. That's what you said, right? Wait, no, they gotta take a test. Hold on.
Okay. Jennifer, is that what you told Mahogany?
No, they're not going on a date. They're meeting on Tuesday at 3 o'clock to take an exam.
Oh, that's like a date.
It's a school date. It's a school date. Okay.
Oh, James, is that what you told Jennifer A?
Got spaghetti.
I think so. I don't even remember at this point.
Okay, James. Josh, is that what you told James to tell Jennifer?
I think I told them that they were discussing the test, like studying for it.
Studying for the test.
Discussing it, yeah. Not
Oh.
taking it. Yeah.
Okay. So, Jennifer S., is that what you told Josh?
No, I told Josh that they're going to meet Susan at Tuesday at 3 o'clock to discuss the test.
Okay, Anifer, is that what you told Jennifer S.?
Yes, something like that. Yep. It's like the same, but different way.
Wait. You said something like that?
No. Okay, I told Jennifer, I say this. Larry and Mary going to meet with Susan on Tuesday, 3 o'clock to discuss about the exam. About the exam, that's what I said to her. It's the same. That's what Paru told me. That's what she's saying. She repeated like 2 times, and that's what I understand she said to me.
Okay, Peru. Is that what you told Anifer?
Yes.
I told more. So I said, Larry told Mary that we're gonna meet on Thursday at Chambers to meet Susan on Tuesday at Broad Street and 2nd to discuss the exam.
Melissa,
I guess that's what Melissa told me.
And Melissa, is that what you told Peru?
There was also more.
Really?
So I said, Larry and Mary were meeting on Thursday at 3 o'clock on the corner of Chambers and Greenwood so that they could meet up with Susan on Tuesday at 3 o'clock on Broad and 2nd Street so that on Monday they could discuss the exam.
Oh, that's too long. Oh my God.
Alon, is that what you told Melissa?
Correct, but it was Mary told Larry, Larry told Mary to meet her at the corner of Greenwood and Chambers Street on Tuesday at 3 o'clock on Thursday at 3 o'clock so that on Tuesday they could meet on Broadway and 2nd Street. So then on Monday they can discuss the exam in the library.
Okay, so this is what I told Galan. Larry told Mary to meet him at 3 o'clock on Thursday at the corner of Greenwood and Chambers Streets so that they can meet Susan on Tuesday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon at Broad and 2nd Streets so that we can go to the library to study for the test on Monday.
So they went from that to a date.
Basically.
Okay, now I
On
have had
Tuesday.
classes say at the end, I want pizza. Okay, that's how bad it has gotten at some time.
Good.
So now I think we can see, right? I think we can see now firsthand how rumors get started, right? How disinformation gets disseminated around over and over again. Incorrect information and how quickly it spreads, right? All because we're poor listeners, right? Kind of like goes with what we were doing with the perceptual sets. Remember that exercise where you had to find the F's and people just went right over those small words, if, of, right? Okay. This is what we call serial communication or chain of command. And what happens is person one has a message that they relate to person two. Person two then interprets the message for him or herself. And then person two gives person three his or her interpretation of the message and not the message itself. Okay? This is where that perception is coming in, right? Now, and I purposely put Anifer in the middle because Anifer has a language barrier, so to speak, with her accent, right? Okay, so put that in the mix on top of our perceptions about things. And what do you get? A muddled up message, right? You get serial communication or chain of command. And we need to be mindful that this is how messages travel a lot. And we have to be mindful of not only what are the actual words being said, but like the librarian was telling us today, the source. You have to consider the source as well. Okay? Very important. Very, very important. So can anybody tell me what are the 4 causes of poor listening? Do you recall from the lecture? 4 causes of poor listening. The first one is not concentrating. Okay. The second one is listening too hard, trying to hear every single word that's being said, every single thing. Okay. A couple of you said, okay, let me get the important parts of this. Okay, so you left out words like afternoon and streets and things like that because the message still could stay in some form of integrity, right? So we have to be mindful to concentrate, okay? We have to be mindful not to listen too hard, especially like if somebody's giving a lecture or something like that. You want to pull out those main points, those main ideas, because you can't write down every single thing the person's saying in the lecture, right? So instead, you look for the main points of what's being said. Okay. What's the third thing that we do that causes poor listening? The third cause of the 4 causes of poor listening is jumping to conclusions, right? Jump into conclusion. Hear out all of the information first before you jump to a conclusion of what you think the person's getting ready to say or putting on your perception of what's being said, like we did in the telephone game, as opposed to what's actually being said. Okay? Don't jump to conclusions. Hear out all of the information. And what's the 4th cause of the 4 causes of poor listening?
The distractions?
Okay, what about it?
I think it was like focusing on the wrong things, like maybe appearances, attire, stuff like
Right, okay. You don't want to be distracted by appearances, okay, somebody's appearance or how well they speak, their performance. Okay, personal appearances and how well they speak. Okay, it's very important that you hear the message that's being given as opposed to, oh, that person's a very nice looking person. She looks like a smart lady. Okay. Oh, he's a very eloquent speaker. But what is the message that's being said? Okay. Very important. People fall prey to cults, okay, or other nefarious leaders, such as Hitler, okay? Hitler was a very good speaker. He was a great orator. The problem was the message. It was filled with hate and bias. Okay? So it's not enough to just look at someone and make a judgment about the message and follow that person blindly. You need to understand what that person is actually saying. What's the purpose behind that message? Okay, very important. All right, let's move quickly to interviews. How many people watched the interview lecture? Yeah. So in the interview lecture, we talked about how to get a job, how to interview someone for information, and how to interview someone for who's getting a job. You're the interviewer. So it's about the interview, being the interviewer for a job, being the interviewee for a job, or interviewing someone for information. Maybe you're going to do an interview and write a story about them. Okay, those are the three types of interviews that we reviewed in the lecture. Now, the one interview that I think is probably the most important or relevant one to you right now as a college student looking for a job would be as the interviewee, right? The interviewee. So it's very important that you understand and know how to stand out as a candidate, right? Because jobs are scarce, especially now. And only the best people are going to get the job. And it doesn't only, your credentials are going to get you in the door, but it's who you are and how you present yourself in the interview that's going to land you the position. Okay? So I gave you 5 things that you need to do before you get to the interview, 6 things you need to do once you get to the interview, and 3 things you need to do when you leave, after you leave the interview. Who knows the 5 things of what you're supposed to do when you are preparing for your interview? What's the first thing you're going to do?
Can I guess?
Yeah, you could guess. It'd be better if you had looked at the lecture and you knew, but you can guess.
Take questions. Write your questions down. Like this is like for like you interviewing somebody or.
This is you are going to be a candidate for a job. You're trying to get a job. So I told you 5 things that you need to do before you ever get to the job, before you even get the job, what you need to do. Then I told you what to do once you get the interview and you go there during the interview. Then I told you what to do when you leave the interview.
I got the before.
Okay, so the before, the first thing you want to do is
Write a cover letter.
right. Well, it's actually 3 things, and then I go into what those 3 things are. So the first thing that you want to do, okay, is your homework. Okay, you want to do your homework, right? Your research. You want to know something about the job requirements and about the company. Okay, so first thing you're going to do.
Can I say something?
Yes.
It's about that. Okay, so for example, for me, when I'm going to find a job, the first thing I do is I go to the internet and I check it out about the company, what they do in the company, how many stars they have, because sometimes when you see on Google, if the companies do the people give 5 star. If you see the company has like 3 star or 2 star, like it's not too good because the person not rated good. So another thing is I called before and I was like, oh hello, like what how's the work about like for the phone? Like I want more information. And if they don't tell me any information, I keep looking for like, and then I apply for the job. And then when I be there, I talk with the person and I ask about all the questions I have. And then if I see the work is good, the money they're going to pay me, like it's good for the job they are going to do. I say, okay, I'm gonna stay here. If they give me a benefits, so it's going to be a good job. So that's what I do in my case.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you what you should do. Okay? So, and this is the answer that you're going to put on the exam, right? This is what you're going to do from now on when you go for an interview. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to write your cover letter. Your cover letter is basically a sales pitch for you. Okay? It introduces the person to you, to the company. It introduces you to the company and what you can offer the company. That's what you're selling, yourself, your qualifications. It's all about why would the company want to hire you. So that's what you're going to put in your cover letter. Then you're going to write a very nice resume about yourself. Create a good resume about yourself. And you can go online and get some information about what information you should put in.
I forget about that. I did that too. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So once you've got your resume and your cover letter done, you've done all of your research, you send it off, you've got the interview. Okay. Now, what are you going to do next? First thing, get back on that information about that company. More research, more details about the company. Okay. Do your homework. That's what I said about. Do your homework. And then I told you to get that resume together, the cover letter together, send it there. Know everything you can possibly know about the company. Okay. Be sure you know the company's products and services. You know about the position as well, what they're looking for, and about the company. Okay. Once you have all that information, you can kind of, build that cover letter around that. All right. Once you've done that, you're going to develop and put together, prepare a list of questions about the organization and the job. And you're going to take that with you to the interview, this list of questions that you have. And make sure you have some questions. Okay? The next thing you're going to do is you're going to rehearse the interview. Rehearse the interview. Like you rehearse your speeches, you're going to rehearse the interview. You're going to have a mock interview. You're going to get someone, a friend, your spouse, your child, somebody you're going to get, a friend, someone to help you to interview. Okay? You're going to spend time outlining the job requirements, how your knowledge and your skills and your experience meets those requirements. All right? Practice answering questions commonly asked in interviews. And you can get that information from the internet as well. What are common questions asked in interviews?
Weaknesses and strengths.
Say again?
Like your weakness, your strength, what you can bring to the company.
Yeah. You don't want to talk too much about your weaknesses. You want to build it up all about the strengths.
Why did you leave your last company?
You want to have an answer for something like that that's not negative towards the company. Okay? So you might say something like, I needed a bigger challenge. All right? Instead of saying, I hated my boss. That company was terrible. I couldn't stand it. They don't care about their employees. You never want to say anything like that in your interview. Okay? It's all about you. It's all about you and what you can offer to them. Okay? All right. So you've done your homework, your research. That was your first thing. You did all of that. You got your interview. You made your resume, your cover letter, all of that. You got your interview. You did your research. Number 2, prepare a list of questions for the organization. You got your questions together in a nice list that you can read. Okay, make sure you can read it. And you've rehearsed over and over again that interview. 4th thing you're going to do is dress appropriately for the interview. Now, a lot of people take this for granted. And they come to an interview inappropriately dressed for that job. So you need to understand, if you're going for a professional position, you need to look like a professional. Okay? If you're going for a job interview to be a mermaid, then maybe you need to look like a mermaid. But the dress needs to be appropriate to the position. You want to put your best foot forward. So you wouldn't go in there with some flip-flops on. Okay, maybe you're going for a flip-flop company, flip-flop shoe company. I don't know. But probably that wouldn't be a good idea, because depending on what type of job you're trying to get, right? You don't want to give a person a bad first impression just based on you don't know how to dress for a position. So that's very important. Dress appropriately. Be well groomed, neatly dressed. And then the last thing, the 5th thing, is bring supplies. And you may say, Professor, what are you talking about? Bring supplies? What type of supplies? Well, we know, number 1, that list of questions, right? We're going to bring an extra copy of our resume, extra copy of that cover letter, and we're going to bring a list of references. We will have them ready, at the ready, in case they ask for it, right? You're going to bring a pencil, a pen, paper, something to write on. You're going to bring all that with you to the interview. All right? So what's the first thing we're going to do?
Write a cover letter.
Right. Research. Do your research, right? And within that research, write the cover letter, write your resume, get your interview date, right? Okay, those are the things under do your research. Know something about the company, the products, the services, and the position that you are trying to get. All right, that's number 1. Number 2. What's the second thing you're going to do?
Rehearse.
Okay, that's one of them, rehearse, but it's something before that.
List of questions.
Right, list of questions. Okay, what else? That's 3.
Dress appropriately.
That's nice.
Yes, yes.
Get the job requirements and match your skills to the requirements.
Yeah. Say again.
Get the job requirements, whatever they require for
Okay, yeah,
that
well, we
position,
got that
and try to
already.
match it.
We said that already. We said that would do your homework. Okay, so dress appropriately, and then what's the fifth thing?
Bring your supplies, like your
Right.
resume, cover letter.
Bring supplies.
Yes. Right. What's the supplies?
Extra resume,
Pens,
a paper, a pen, extra cover letter.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so that's all before you get to the interview, right? That's the 5 things you're going to do. Now you're going to do 6 things once you get there. First thing is use active listening. Active listening. You want to work on attending, understanding, and remembering what is asked. All right? You're going to be mindful of your nonverbal behavior. Okay? You don't want to make faces and things like that. Only face you want to make is a nice smiley face. Okay? And good eye contact. Look the person straight in the eye. And when you meet the person, and this is like when it's not a pandemic, of course, you shake their hand, give them a very firm handshake, not one of these little weak shakes. A nice firm handshake. Okay. All right. Second thing you're going to do is you're going to think before you answer any questions. Think before you answer. You're going to take a moment to consider how your answer is going to portray your skills and your knowledge. Okay. Think about it first before you answer. Third thing, you want to be enthusiastic. Okay? Like I said, your body language should be all about, I am an eager a candidate who is so excited about working with this company. I am going to give you my all. Okay, you want to be enthusiastic. You want to ask questions. Okay? Use the questions that you prepared ahead of time that have not already been answered. If they answered one of those questions already, don't ask it again. Okay, don't be a robot. Leave that alone. Because if you ask a question that's already been answered, the interviewer may make some assumptions about you. Number one, you're not a good listener. Okay, you don't want that. All right. And you want to also ask how well the interviewer believes your qualifications. Okay. You want to kind of get a feel for that. Match the position and what your strengths are. Okay. Match the position and what your strengths are. Now, the one thing you want to avoid when you're asking questions is the one thing that Anifer says she asks first off, okay? And that is about salary and benefits. When you are in an interview, don't ask about salary and salary and benefits.
Well, we can ask about that.
Save that for when they actually offer you the job. Once they offer you the job, you know they want you. Now we can negotiate the price. Because you don't want to say something that might be too low, right? or more importantly, too high, and they don't even accept you. Okay? So you want to save that information for when you actually get the job. Now it's time for negotiation. All right. All right. So let's go over again the 6 things you're going to do. Number 1. I can't hear you, Josh.
Active listening.
Yes, use active listening. Okay. Number 2.
Questions?
Think before you answer.
Think before you answer. Yes. Okay. Number 3.
Be enthusiastic.
That's one. Yes. Be enthusiastic. What else?
Ask questions.
Ask questions. Yep. 4.
Dress nice as well? No?
She said already number 4.
2, 3, 4. What's the last one I told you about?
Ask how your qualifications match the position.
Position of what your strengths are. Yes. Okay. And then what else?
Never ask about the price and salary. Ask about when they give you the job.
Right. Okay. And then there's 3 things that you need to do when you are at the end of your job interview, when you get home.
Thank you notes.
Yes. You want to write a thank you note right away. You want to make it brief, thank them for the experience, and re-express your interest in the job. Okay. Second thing you want to do is you want to self-assess your performance. Think about how well you did and how you could have made it better. Okay. And then finally, you want to contact the interviewer for feedback. Contact the interviewer for feedback. Okay. So I'm thinking now what I told you. In the beginning, it's 6 things. Okay. Count the cover letter, get the interview and the resume, count that as 1. Do your research, and then the other things that I said. Okay. Make sure, because I don't want you to forget about that cover letter, I don't want you to forget it that. So count it as 6, because a lot of times I tell students, do the research, and in the research, that's the cover letter, and it gets mixed up. So just use 1 as your cover letter, your resume, okay? And getting your interview, doing your research. Then the next one, do your research. Prepare a list of questions, rehearse the interview, dress appropriately, bring your supplies. Okay? And again, look at this, go look at the lecture again as well. The 5 things, not 6. I told you 5. I told you 6, but it's 5 things you're going to do during the interview. The 5 things are: use active listening, be enthusiastic, think before you answer, ask questions, and avoid discussing salary and benefits. When I was telling you about make the position and what your strengths are, That was in ask questions, okay? As well as being prepared ahead of time, not asking questions that were already asked, as well as, you know, seeing how your qualifications are being believable. All right, and then the 3 things that you're going to do at the end is write a thank you note, self-assess your performance, and contact the interviewer for feedback. It works. Believe me, it works, and it works well. Interviewers are very impressed when you pull out those questions. They're like, oh, okay, this person's assertive. And make sure it's relevant to the position.
I was always told interview them because you're the one that they're the one who needs you. So interview them to see if they're gonna improve your quality of life.
Yeah. But don't act like you know more than them. You know what I mean? And don't act like you're the boss. Just be pleasant, assertive, but not aggressive. Okay? You want to be pleasant. Even if you got a big headache, you didn't get good sleep last night, whatever your problems are, leave them at the door. Because you want to put your best foot forward, right? That's a figurative language. Put your best foot forward. Give a person the best impression of you, that you are their standout candidate. Okay, this person pulled out a list of questions. They were taking notes. They knew everything about the company. Boy, this person's a self-starter. They are efficient. They know how to get the job done. I think I want to take a chance on this person. Once I got a job at Temple University as a debate instructor. Okay. Had I ever been a debate instructor before? No. Did I get the job? Yes. As the lead instructor. Now, I knew that the job it was being taught by more than one person. So I had been on a debate team. I did know about debates, but I had never been an instructor. But I had been a professor for many years, decades. So when I went for the job and I did all of those things that I told you to do, the interviewer was saying to me, "You are such a pleasant person. You seem like you love your students so much. You're really into your students. You can offer them so much." They offered me the job before I left. I was faking it till I made it. And I made it. So, you know, you really have to understand that in order to persuade people around to your way of thinking, your message has to be clear. We don't understand the messages that we send that maybe don't have a lot to do with the words that we're saying always. It's a lot of times the things that you do that make you stand out. Okay. Do those things, and I guarantee you some success. Guarantee you some success. Okay, so I wanted to briefly go over how we are going to take off the training wheels for your speeches. So remember the first speech that we had, I gave you a little cheat sheet, if you will, a little template of what I wanted your outline to look like. Now, some of you followed it and others did not. Some of you just made up what you thought you should do other than what I told you to do, which was follow that model. Okay, so the model had on it Roman numerals. I have it in front of me. But that model had Roman numerals, it had letters, and then some people were just writing numbers, and some people were putting bullet points, and some people didn't even hand in the outline. Okay, so moving forward, if I give you a sample, then you should follow that sample, because that's why I gave you the sample. Okay. Now, when I told you that you were writing your speech, I told you that I wanted you to incorporate those main ideas into those main points into your central idea or thesis. Now, thesis statement and central idea, they're the same thing. Okay, so you may hear me say thesis, you may hear me say central idea. Mostly I'm going to talk about central idea. Basically because I don't want you to think that a speech is a paper that you write in your English class, because that's another place where you hear that term thesis statement. Okay, writing a speech is not an English paper. Okay, writing a speech is not a story. It's not a story only. And a lot of people make that mistake. They get up and they just go on with a story. And they think that it's appropriate because a speech has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So there's a story, the beginning, the middle, the end. So they think that fits, and it does not. So I want you to shake all of this stuff of what you knew about an outline before, because I'm going to teach you how to create a preparation outline, which is not your speaking outline, which is another thing that students submit. But the speaking outline is for you. The preparation outline is to help you to prepare the speech, as well as to give it to me so I can see if you know what you're doing. So if you submit a speech without the outline, it's not going to be good for you at all. Okay, you have to give me an outline, and the outline must fit the requirements that I tell you you need to have. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves about the outline itself. We're going to spend some time just on the outline. But what I want to get across to you now is the central idea. Okay, your central idea tells you what you're going to talk about during the speech. Okay. Now, when you are developing your ideas, the first thing you want to do is choose your topic. Now, I gave you your topic for the first speech. I told you the things that you could talk about. That was it. It had to either be challenging, rewarding, or embarrassing. Okay. But now, as we move further, now we try to remove those training wheels. Now you're going to pick your own topic. Okay. I kind of gave you a topic generally, but you're going to put together your own central idea here. Before, I kind of guided you with the central idea, and all you had to do was put in the main points. So for instance, I told you having my child was my most rewarding experience because it brought me joy. It made me more responsible, and it made me fulfilled. Okay. And then my first main point was all about how the child brought me joy. My second main point was all about how the child made me responsible. And the third point was all about how the child fulfilled me. Okay, those were the three main points. And that helps you to keep focus on what it is you want to talk about. Okay, otherwise you'll start going off on tangents and stories and other things that aren't relevant to the main central idea. All right, very important. Okay, so you come up, I told you that you're going to do a pet peeve speech. That's our next speech. So we know that it's something that annoys us, but you have to come up with what is the thing that annoys you. So we're going to take the example of poor drivers. Now, once we take this example, I don't want to see any speeches about poor drivers, because some students like to get lazy, and then I get 4 speeches on poor drivers. I don't want to see one. I've had all the poor driver speeches I could take. But I'm going to use that as an example because I think that most of us have some experience with that. Okay, poor drivers. Okay, so our topic is poor drivers. The first thing you're going to do is tell us your general purpose, which is to inform, to persuade, to entertain, whatever is the type of speech that you're giving. Okay, so in this instance for pet peeves, you are persuading. Okay, so your general purpose is going to be to persuade. The second thing you need to do is figure out, what is my specific purpose? What is a specific purpose? Anybody look at the lecture? The specific purpose tells you what you want the audience to know after the speech is over. Okay? So it always starts with the general purpose, which I told you is what? For poor drivers.
Persuade.
To what?
Persuade.
Yes, to persuade. Okay, so my specific purpose would be to persuade my audience that I'm of 3 reasons why I hate poor drivers. Okay? 3 reasons why I hate poor drivers. So it always starts with the general purpose, whatever the type of speech you're giving, plus what you want us to know at the end of the speech. You want us to know 3 reasons why you hate poor drivers. Okay? So I hate poor drivers because they're inconsiderate, they waste my time, and they're dangerous. So what would a central idea now be for a general purpose of to persuade, a specific purpose of to persuade my audience of 3 reasons why I'm annoyed by poor drivers? The central idea would be, I'm annoyed by poor drivers because they're inconsiderate, they're waste my time, and they are dangerous. Okay? That will be your central idea. What would be the 3 main points we're going to talk about in that speech?
How they're inconsiderate, that you don't like them, and they're dangerous.
A waste of time.
Waste of time.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, waste time, sorry. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And that is going to be the first sentence in the main point number 1. What's the first sentence in main point number 1?
Waste of time.
Say again, Josh. Okay.
Waste of time.
Okay, if you start with that one. But we started with inconsiderate though, right? But you can start with waste your time if you want to, just so long as you have them all 3 in there. So the first sentence is going to be, poor drivers annoy me because they are inconsiderate. Then all the supporting material that you have is going to be about what?
How they're
inconsiderate.
Yes. Okay. Once you finish that, what's your next main point number 2 sentence going to start with?
How they're dangerous.
What's it going to say?
Drivers annoy me because they waste my time.
Right. Exactly.
Explain.
I'm annoyed by poor drivers because they waste my time. Okay. That's going to be the first sentence in that main point. Now, central ideas cannot be asked as questions. They have to be declarative sentences. Okay? No questions. You also can't have more than one idea. For instance, some people said, I'm going to tell you why I'm going to tell you what is my biggest challenge, and I'm going to tell you how I'm going to tell you why I have a challenge like that. Okay, that's 2 different ideas. You have to stay with one idea. Now, some people think, oh, I got 3 main points, so what are you talking about? No. Okay, we're talking about ideas. Okay, you can't have more than the inconsiderate, wasting time, and all are reasons why I'm annoyed. Okay, but then I can't throw in there, I also hate to stop at traffic lights. That's a whole nother idea aside from why you hate poor drivers. So you can only have one idea, and you can only have sentences that are not asked in questions. Okay? Now, your general purpose is always an infinitive phrase, meaning that it's going to start with the word to, T-O. Always an infinitive phrase, to. T-O, and then whatever is the type of speech. That's your general purpose. Always, it's going to look like that. Okay? Your specific purpose is going to be your general purpose to, and whatever type of speech it is, inform, introduce, persuade. Okay? And then whatever it is that you are going to talk about. To inform my audience of 3 reasons why I'm annoyed. Okay. So once we get those 3 reasons, then we put it into the central idea. I'm annoyed by poor drivers because main point number 1, main point number 2, main point number 3. Okay. Now, that's having you on the training wheels. But there's a little glitch to it. So that's how we would develop it. However, when we're speaking, sometimes we're not really that robotic in it. Okay. So if you look at the handout that I told you to bring to class today, okay, and it uses the example of poor drivers. So what we do now is we convert that written central idea into a conversational tone, as opposed to being so literal the way that we gave it. Now, on your pet peeves, if you do it the way that we just talked about, that's going to be fine. I will accept it. But I want you to start to get into the habit of transferring that written central idea into a more conversational tone, a verbal central idea. Okay. So the example that I have is, despite the dangers, people text, read their phone, and daydream while driving. Okay. So in this instance, it wasn't just poor drivers. They were being a little bit more specific. And they said, I want to inform my audience of 3 activities people participate in that are dangerous while driving. Okay.
Professor, I do have a question about that.
Okay.
So then, so there's the difference with the written and then the verbal. And so when we submit the assignment, so like for instance, when we submit the pet peeve speech outline, full text, and bibliography, the speech outline, the written version will have the written thesis statement, but then for the outline, we'll write down our verbal form, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I want to see it both outside of the system of symbolization, which we haven't talked about that yet, as well as in the text of your speech. We'll talk about that part later. Don't worry about that so much, how it looks. Okay? So I'm going to put you in a group, and we've got these, there's also here organizing terms that help you to know what is the order that you are putting your speech in. What's the organizational pattern that you're using? Okay, so I'm going to put you in 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay, I'm going to put you in groups of 2. One group is going to have 3. And what I want you to do is I'm going to give each of you a topic, and then you are going to come back. You're going to create a central idea, okay? And 3 main points about it, okay? You're going to come back. You're going to tell me what's your general purpose, what's your specific purpose, okay? What's your central idea, your main points, and what pattern did you pick? All right? Okay. So, group, well, let me put you in the group first, and then I'll tell you which one you're in.
How long are we going to be in our groups? Just for time management purposes.
How long? Like 5 minutes.
Okay.
It shouldn't take you that long. Then we'll come back, we'll finish it up, and we'll be gone. Okay, so group 1 is Anifer, James, and Jennifer A. And your speech is going to be about a historical period in which you would like to have lived. A historical period in which you would like to have lived. Okay. Group 2 is Golan and Jennifer S. And yours is going to be a favorite place from your childhood. Group 3 is Peru and Mahogany. And yours is going to be one person who seems to have 2 sides to his or her personality. And group 4 is Josh and Melissa. And you're going to be a dangerous activity that people participate in despite the risk. Okay. All righty. Are you still there? Just click on your computer, James. You and Anifer. Anifer. Click on your thing to go to your group.
Where
Your group.
I can. Can you please take me to the break room?
Okay. All right, so what's your general purpose?
Our general purpose is to inform about the audience about our favorite childhood place.
Okay, is that your general purpose?
I mean, because it's pretty general compared to a specific one, I think.
General. What does it look like?
To inform.
Right.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, I wrote that. Okay.
Okay.
I wrote inform. Okay.
Okay.
To inform the audience about our favorite.
To
That's what you meant?
inform. That's it. That's
Inform. Okay.
That's your general
Word.
purpose.
Okay.
It starts with the preposition to, and then it's whatever type of speech you're giving. That's it.
Perfect.
Okay, now what's your specific purpose?
To inform our audience of 3 reasons why it's our favorite place, childhood place.
Okay. And what's your central idea?
So it is our favorite childhood, and so, wait. So we said Disney World, right? So Disney World is our favorite childhood place because it is so much fun. Our favorite cartoon characters live there, and it is a magical place where dreams come true.
Okay. What's main point number 1?
It's so much fun.
Okay. So, but how would you write it? How would you say it in the speech?
Disney World is so much fun because there are rides, there's games. Oh,
Disney World is my favorite place because
it's so much fun. So much fun.
Got it?
Okay.
Got it.
What's second main point?
That our favorite cartoon characters live there.
Okay, so how would you say it in the speech?
Disney World is our wait. So this
Yeah,
would be a new.
keep
Disney
going,
World
keep going.
is our favorite childhood place because our favorite. Oh wait, I can't say favorite again, but because our, I guess, cartoon
characters.
Yeah,
live
I just didn't want to be repetitive, but yeah.
Right. So what's your third main point?
It's a magic place where dreams come true.
How are you gonna say it?
Disney World.
Yes.
Is a magical place where dreams come true.
Disney World is my favorite childhood place.
Oh.
Because it's a magical world where dreams come true. Okay. So what was your pattern of organization?
Casual.
Casual because that includes hold on
reasons.
Like reasons and yeah.
Okay, it does, but you have to understand what does causal pattern do. It's a cause and effect. Where the first main point is the cause, the second main point is the effect. So you probably wouldn't choose that one. And if you look, reasons is under a couple of types of patterns. You're not beholden to just that one wherever you see it. It could be used there.
Oh, topical patterns.
Yeah, more topical.
I see that. Okay. Word.
Got it.
Everybody see that? Okay. Group 2. I think that was Anifer, right?
Oh, it was Annifer, me, and James.
Right. Okay. So,
all right.
And what your general purpose is?
So our overall topic was a historical period in which you would like to have lived in. Our general purpose would be to inform. Our specific purpose would be to inform my audience of 3 reasons why I would have lived in the Viking period. And then my central idea would be 3 reasons why I have chosen the Viking period as the historical period in which I would have lived in is because there would be more equality between men and women. I would be able to travel around the world and I would have a healthier lifestyle. And so then when I would break these into separate main points, the Viking period in which the historical period in which I would have lived in is the reason. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. I would have lived in the Viking period because there would be more equality between men and women. Next one would be I would live in the Viking period because there would be more traveling around the world. And then the third main point would be I would have lived in the Viking period because I would have a healthier lifestyle.
Okay.
And then this can go down as a topical pattern since it's reasons. But if it could somewhat go into a chronological pattern if we were to provide more information, I suppose, with like certain dates and time frames for these activities.
Right. Now, I would argue that it was more persuasive than informative, but you all don't have too much information on that, so I'm not going to hold you to it so much, but that's more of a persuasive speech.
Okay, I was trying to go off of the
So anytime that someone can debate, argue, get on the other side of what you're talking about, it's persuasive. Okay, and we're going to learn more about persuasive when we get to it, but it's different from informative because informative is just the facts. Okay, if I were to tell you 4 treatments for cancer, 4 cancer treatments, you can't really get on the other side of that. Okay, it's just those are 4 treatments for cancer. Now, if I had said the best or the worst, now I'm getting more towards persuasion. Okay, because you might think it's best, but somebody else might say, no, it's not the best. This is the best. All right. So when you're just giving the facts, it's informative. You can't get on another side of it. Okay. The 3 steps to getting your degree would be to be accepted in the school, complete all of your course requirements, and to not have any debts owed to the school. That's the 3 ways you will get your diploma. Okay. All right, next group. Everybody understand and follow what we're doing. Okay.
Mostly. I have a question.
Now, okay, I'm sorry, Melissa. Go ahead.
So at least for this application, are we supposed to be like giving any details about what our topic is, like any kind of background, or we're just giving you?
No, you don't have to do all that because I'm really trying to see, do you know how to put together your general purpose, your specific purpose, your central idea? Okay. All right. So the last group. Did we do 2 or 3?
I think Josh and I were group 4.
Okay, go ahead.
It's us? Okay. So our general purpose is to persuade, and our specific purpose is to persuade why people participate in cheese rolling. And our central, I forget what it's called, statement, idea is people participate in cheese rolling because of traditions in the town. People participate in cheese rolling because of prizes. People participate in cheese rolling because of sense of accomplishment and bragging rights. And we chose the causal patterns because it's based around reasoning and motives.
I don't know if I would pick causal. Because remember, cause and effect is really more so on a speech of like what happened? What was the cause of this final effect? The cause and effect. So those would be speeches like a speech maybe if you talked about, lung cancer and smoking. Okay. Cause and effect. I guess you could kind of fit it in there, but you look more like topical to me.
Okay.
Speech. Okay, you're giving us reasons why it's dangerous, right? Or something like that, right?
Just why people participate despite the
Or
risk.
why people participate despite the dangers. Yes, more topics.
Does it, like, to you, does it seem kind of like a gray area? Because topical patterns, at least based on the description, is not the one that would jump out at me, but I'm new to this.
We use topics when they don't fit into any other category. Okay, topics is more categorical, where you putting things in a category, as opposed to being specific. Problem solution. Okay, this is the problem. Here's the solution. Cause and effect is like that. This is the cause. This is the effect. Those speeches aren't as, it depends on specific things of what you're talking about for those types of speeches. Okay, so we went through all four, right?
No.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, Baru. What was yours? You know what? I talked to you. That's why I'm thinking about that. I already had it, but I'm thinking we were in our breakout group. Okay.
So the topic is one person who has two sides to his or her personality. So the specific purpose would be to persuade my audience why a person would have two sides to his personality. And a general purpose would be to give reasons.
So your general purpose is 3 reasons why a person has.
Yes.
Right. So it's not
Yes.
just why. You know what I mean? You said to persuade my audience why this happened. Right?
Yes.
You're persuading
Yes.
your audience of 3 reasons why. Okay? Or 3
Okay.
activities. Or 3 patterns. Or 3 actions. Or 3 divisions. Or 3 areas. Or don't just say why. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
What's your central idea?
So basically these 3 reasons, that's the central idea.
Okay, but tell it to me. Tell it to me.
I didn't really get a central idea. I just had the 3 points ordered down because it was kind of.
Okay.
What do you think a good central idea could be for this?
Well, it would be Martha has 2 sides to her personality because she switches her reason, she switches her mood often. She doesn't tell the truth all the time, and she's happy today and sad tomorrow. I don't know what the 3 reasons would be, but that's what you would say.
Okay, that's the central idea. Okay.
So did anyone go the extra step and come up with a verbal central idea that wasn't as literal as giving those 3 points?
I think Josh and I had done that.
Okay.
I think.
All right, let's see what you had.
We had written down, despite the risks, people participate in cheese rolling for the sense of unity and the sense of accomplishments.
Okay.
Is that in the ballpark?
Yeah, it is. It is. Anybody else try to give us a verbal central idea?
I'll try. Disney World is my favorite childhood place because it's fun. My favorite cartoon characters live there, and it's a magical place where dreams come true.
Okay. That sounds just like the regular way that you said it the first time. Okay, so think about it. And then when we come back on the 16th, maybe we'll have some verbals.
So wait, we have class and then the exam?
No, you just have the exam next week. So at 6 o'clock, the exam is going to pop up. It probably is going to open up a little early. Okay. And when it pops up, then you can take it.
So no class.
Mm-hmm.
The exam is like going to be like what they was talking about before.
The time is going to be what we were talking about before. Was that your question?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand your question.
Oh, okay. Let me say it again. I was saying if the exam is going to be about the all.
Your mic muted, hon. We can't hear you.
Muted. Okay, so the exam is going to cover chapters 1 through 6 and the appendix, but only the part about the interviews in the appendix. Okay, so lectures 1 through 6A. That's your exam is going to be lectures 1 through 6A. Okay, and that includes 1A. Okay, so every lecture up to today, including today's lectures, that's going to be on the exam. You have 2 hours to do it. You can use your notes, but after 2 hours, it's going to shut off.
I know we were kind of talking about it earlier because I asked you like we're using honor lock and you said no.
Right.
Do we need to have anything with us on the side, like an ID to like put it in, or like I don't know? No? Okay.
No, just take the test.
I have a question not related to the exam.
Okay.
So we have the Learn Smart things in the folders. Are those just for our study guides or are these graded materials?
Not
okay. And then with the journals that we've been writing, what is so we're just typing that into the text box or uploading it. How long is the requirements for that?
It's not a requirement. You just need to talk about your communication efforts and how they relate to the topics that we discussed.
Okay, so quality over quantity.
quality over quantity. I'm not looking for like, 5 pages or even 1 page, like a couple of paragraphs. Don't just write one sentence.
So for the journals, we could essentially do like 2 paragraphs, 1 paragraph explaining what we learned in class, and then the other paragraph being how we take the information that we learned in class and relate it to our personal life, or like something we can relate to it for that week.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes. Yes. There's no right or wrong answer. It's really just your assessment.
Quick question. For the test, is it open-ended question?
I can't hear you, Josh.
For the test, is it multiple choice, open-ended questions, or what kind of questions are on there?
Okay, you have multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank, and essay. And the essay is short answer. Any other questions about the exam? If you have a question while the exam is going on, you can email me and I'll try to help you. It's pretty straightforward. Look at all of the handouts that I told you to look at. I gave them to you for a reason. Okay. Any other questions at all about the exam or about any concepts that we covered? And I hope that you all are looking at your agendas, because that will help you to study. Okay, what we're looking for. Okay, so class is over.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Stay safe, everybody.
Thank you.